The drinks are hot, and so's the topic of conversation for broadcast coffee owner Barry Fott, a pay raise for our state's lowest paid workers.
Minimum wage right now, as it is, isn't enough.
Fott supports Initiative 1433 to increase our state's minimum wage from $9.47 currently to $13.50 an hour over the next 4 years. His stores in Seattle, which has a city-mandated higher minimum wage, wouldn't be impacted directly if 1433 passes. But Fott says his experience since 2015, when Seattle's higher wages went into effect, should be a lesson for businesses statewide.
When Seattle passed it, I was like, what am I going to do? What's my business going to do?
Fott says his business has increased since that time, even with a nickel price hike on menu items.
It's going to be $5.70.
Business is so good, Fott is building his 4th store, thanks to what he says is a city full of people earning higher wages.
If you make more, you tend to spend it.
The 1433 campaign says the measure, if passed, would help more than 730,000 people earn an additional $2.5 billion more per year.
You want to decide to start milking?
And Fott says in Seattle, higher wages are also helping employees want to stay on the job, so he can avoid the costs of hiring and retraining new workers.
If you're happy with how much you make and you're happy with where you work, then you tend to stay longer.
And businesses like Broadcast Coffee aren't the only ones lining up to support 1433.
The higher wages more than pay for themselves in terms of that productivity.
The U.S. Deputy Secretary of Labor has come forward to stump for the initiative, which includes not only higher wages, but up to 7 days of paid sick and safe leave per year starting in 2018.
No parent should have to choose between a day's pay and the needs of a sick child.
Groups like the Children's Alliance say the plan to let workers accrue at least 1 hour of paid sick leave for every 40 hours worked is a boost for public health, especially for parents who otherwise can't afford to take days off work when they're ill. The Yes on I-1433 campaign is endorsed by Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, the National Physicians Alliance, the Washington State Labor Council, and the social justice group One America. Supporters have raised about $3.9 million for 1433 as of mid-October, but the measure is getting a chilly reception from Jack Walsh.
It doesn't make sense.
Walsh's shop, Sub-Zero Ice Cream and Yogurt in Federal Way, uses liquid nitrogen to flash freeze treats for customers.
This gives you the freshest ice cream you'll ever have in your life.
But Walsh says paying for sick leave and raising our state's minimum wage by 30% over the next 4 years would create a cloudy future for stores like his.
At $13.50 an hour, staying in business would be a challenge.
Walsh says a higher wage would mean he likely wouldn't hire teenagers, who make up the vast majority of his staff.
If we have to pay $13.50 an hour, we're not able to hire those teens because they don't have the experience and the work ethic, and so we'd have to hire somebody older.
And Walsh says the example set by Seattle's higher wages hasn't been entirely positive. A UW survey of employers, done just before the wage hike took effect, showed 62% of businesses plan to raise their prices due to the higher minimum wage. 30% were cutting or plan to cut the number of employees, and 11% were leaving or plan to leave town. Walsh says employers in smaller cities outside of Seattle with fewer customers and less income would see those problems magnified.
Businesses in more rural areas would be hurt even more than what we are. And so trying to have one size fits all certainly doesn't work.
The No on 1433 campaign has raised just over $54,000 as of mid-October. It's endorsed by the Association of Washington Business, the Building Industry Association of Washington, the Washington Farm Bureau, and the Washington Retail Association.
Most of the people that we're paying minimum wage to, they're not supporting families.
Walsh says he's not against paying his employees more, but he wants workers to earn a bigger paycheck, not have voters hand it to them.
It's just not feasible.
Both sides are steaming toward a clash at the ballot box this November, with very different stances if I-1433 passes.
It's good for people, it's good for business, it's good for Seattle, and good for the state.
People will be losing jobs because of it.